Oh, good morning, folks. Oh, it's been a while. Just a quick one. I hope I've had a good Christmas and Happy New Year. I know we're nearly at the end of January now, but it's been such a long time since I've put out a video. It's not such a long time since I've made one. I think this must be the 10th attempt at this one, so hopefully I'll get it right on this one. I've just not been happy with what I've been producing. So we are going to hopefully make this one work. So as the title says, service contracts. Last year I spoke about being irritated by people either locking the doors when I get there, saying they don't want me, just silly little things like that, and late payers and stuff like that. Now, I used to be in a position where it wouldn't matter if people are late paid because I just drop them and find something else. But unfortunately, since COVID, I lost, during COVID, I lost 60% of my business, down to the fact that people are at home, or because most of my customers are elderly, they didn't want me around. Thankfully, I got some of them back, but with me cutting some of them off for the, getting rid of some of the chaff at the end of the year and stuff like that, I was left with probably 60 to 70% of my business back. And I've done what Emerald Brenner said, or has talked about before, and that's doing the 80-20 rule. Now, I always got rid of a few people at the end of the year, but this year I've slashed them by 20%. It might seem a little bit stupid because I haven't fully got back up to the capacity, but the way my business, the way I want my business to go, is to get rid of all the chaff and get rid of all the small gardens that, if it's really dry, I struggle to do anything in because nothing grows, or it's just, you know, if you've been in this business long enough, you'll know the sort of customers that you want. And I want to go for slightly bigger customers that, it'll explain in the service contract in a minute anyway. The slightly bigger customers that there is something to do all year round, and they don't mind you being there all year round, rather than people as soon as it gets to September, oh, you finished now, have you? And it's just like, well, no, I finish when everything stops growing, you know, so it could be November time. Oh, all right, okay. Can we start finishing October? It's just like, well, I tell you, I work till the end of October, full stop. And that's how I work your money out, and how much I'm getting from you and how much it's costing me and all that lot. Anyway, so the service contract. I spoke to a few people. Bren was one of them. I spoke to a few local gardeners that are like, no, strictly cash only. And a lot of people have been like, no, I don't like that idea, because then you're stuck with it and stuff like that. So here's this is what I've made up. So out of all my customers, I sent them out at the beginning of December rather than January, so that gave them a month to sort somebody else out, find other prices, and see whether I'm taking the mick or not, which I'm not, never am. So the service contract goes, I need to be in your garden for at least 21 visits in the year. That's 1 in January, 1 in February, 2 visits per month between March and November. It works out 2 visits. So if you got hedge and it's 2 visits in November, if you haven't, it's only 1 in November and then 1 in December. Just to keep on top of things, there's one thing I did do, because I started it this year, and at the end of the end of last year really, but started it this year. One thing I've noticed now is it's a lot easier when I come back into the game, rather than leaving it for 2 months, 3 months, and get back into March, and everything being like, you know, Jesus Christ, I've got to bust my nuts off to do it. Everything is like tickety-boo. It's really easy to get around. And the gardens look a lot better as well. So yeah, so you get 21 visits, and then 21 visits are then split over 12 months. So it makes it slightly cheaper. So if you just take one of my customers, they are paying 50 quid a month. Oh, 50 quid a visit, sorry, not a month, fucking hell. £50 a visit. Well, when you do that over 12 months and you give them 21 visits, it works out at £87.50. It's not a lot of saving, realistically. But what it does do is, if I said to them, right, 100 quid a visit, £50 a visit, sorry, so it's £100 a month between March and October and November, and then there's £100 between, you know, January, February, November, December time. They're like, £100. It's like, I'm not quite sure. So I've like tried to bring it down slightly, although the end total is the same. It's cheaper on the month. I get slightly less money per month. Well, I say per month because Am I getting less money? I'm getting more money in a way, because I'm getting the same amount between January and February, and then the other two as well. So it may look like I'm getting less, but in theory I'm getting paid from January to December, rather than them not wanting me in the garden January, February, and then having me March to October, and getting the bulk then. So that's how it's working. So what I've stipulated in this contract is, okay, so I give you a minimum of 21 visits, basically. If I turn up and you don't want me to do the garden, I still get paid. If I turn up, the gate is locked and I can't gain access, I still get paid. If I turn up and you can't be bothered to tell me that you're having building work done and I cannot physically do my job, I get paid. That may seem harsh, but what it does is, I've not gone through my calendar, maybe told 2 or 3 people that I cannot do their job because I've already booked up, and then people that I've booked in start messing me around. That's where I want to go away from. I want more reliable, regular customers, which makes me more reliable, because, you know, there's nothing worse than doing a couple of visits a month, busting your nut off in someone's garden, sending them an invoice on the 2nd visit, and then waiting another 4 weeks to get paid. You know, and I've told them that they've got to set up at the beginning of the month, so I can look at the beginning of the month and say, right, everybody's paid, I can crack on with my day or my month. Or this person hasn't paid, phone them up, send them a quick message, send them an email, whichever way I contact them, and say, hang on, I hope everything's okay, I've not received payment yet. To carry on with the service, then obviously payment needs to be made. You know, like I say, it all seems slightly harsh, but one of my regular customers that I've been with about 9 years now said to me, look, I don't want to enter into a contract because we are going to be having some major building work done, but we don't want to lose you. And I was just like, well, that's fine. You've given me prior and advance warning. That's all I'm asking for. So we'll do it as the same thing. We'll do it as on the contract, but, you know, you just let me know 2 weeks to a month in advance before it starts, because that way what happens is, when that contract starts, if I cannot gain access to your garden, I cannot do work in your garden, it gives me chance to then fill your space. That's all it's about. And they were like, oh, fantastic. In fact, actually, it made me laugh about them, that couple, actually. It's a typical couple that, I mean, I've got quite a few of them that are very well off, and she is a dentist, and he does, like, well, he's done a lot of building work actually just recently, but he sells like wooden forks and barbecue kits to supermarkets. Wow. I am sat on the side of a road like I would normally, like a normal person, right? People can see me, I'm in a van, and someone's just come darting up to me, speeding, and then looked at me because I'm parked, because they can't just zip round me. Fucking, since lockdown, I'm not sure about anybody else, but people on the road are absolute lunatics. They've got no vision whatsoever. Anyway, back to this contract. So yeah, that's how it's going. And out of what I had left, I sent that contract out to maybe 50% of them, because the other 50%, like I said, are old couples, single people on their own that are elderly, and I didn't want to bother them with setting up direct debits and messing around. Unlike this job this morning, the family live down in London, and the lady's got dementia, so all I have to do is message her saying, look, I'm here, get on with my day or my job, and then walk away and say I'm gone. So that's the only reason it would happen. So much of it is cash, and of all the people that I've sent it to, maybe the 20% that I actually got rid of this year have said no. And the reason I sent it to them and put all the stipulations in and everything like that is because I knew they wouldn't go for it, because they're the sort of people that are, you know, pretty much able to do the job themselves. They either just can't be bothered, or they just can't afford it and they're just winging it. Like that one lady that I had, it was like, she said to me, oh, I don't need you to do it this week. I was like, it's no problem. I said, but if somebody comes along, I'm not going to hold your place for you. All right, okay, no worries. 4 months later, she's like, oh, can you cut my grass for me? I'm like, no. She's like, why not? I'm like, well, because you'll want it at £20 like I normally cut your grass for. but it's been 4 months. So that's 4 months worth of, or that's 4 visits worth of, 4 months? That's 8 visits. Can't count this morning. So that's 8 visits worth of grass I've got to take away. 8 times more effort and work I've got to put into it, and you'll still want it for the same price. And she's like, well, yeah, of course. I'm like, well, it's not going to happen. I didn't fill her space, but I will do this. Well, I already have, actually, because this one job. So I had 3 together, and this one job brings me in just the same per visit than them 3 did together. And I'm only here for, well, today's going to be a bit longer because I've got a hedge to do, but just the grass. I just cut the grass on this one. So I gain more from this one, or get the same from this one as I did them 3, and I had more hassle with it. So there we go. And this lady's set up a direct debit, so I don't even have to faff around with her. I just have to let her know when I've been, and go from there. But yeah, I am pleased as punch that I did it, and really glad, because it just makes my life a lot easier. You know, I find, actually, I'm not sure about everybody else, I find January, February, I'm sure everybody else is different, I find January and February the hardest 2 months to fill. And that's because people in Lincoln, for some random reason, as soon as you mention being in the garden in that time of year, people are like, what? There's nothing to do then. There's nothing to do. I'm like, well, in some gardens, yeah, granted, yeah, there isn't. But if you've got a decent sized garden, there is always something to do. There's always a hedge to do, a borders to dig, mulch, weeding, scrubbing the patios, jet washing patio, anything. You can find anything to do. Refelting the shed, making sure, if I've got sheds, making sure the shed's safe and sound so it's not going to fall over on somebody. You know, I can go on. I can go on and on, but I'm not going to. But yeah, so pleased as punch, because I'm getting now paid January to February. And yeah, sorry, I'm getting distracted because there's a lot of people messaging me. The person that I said last time has given me about 6 houses, and now I've just dumped another 4. 3, 4. And they are not literal simple in and outs. They are redoing the garden. So I'm really pleased about that, because all the spaces that I needed to fill have just been filled. So yeah, that's what the service contract's about. I am very flexible. So like I said to that customer, you know, you've given me prior notice and stuff like that. So, you know, we can work together. I've been with them like 9 years. So I'm not just going to knock that one on the head, because it's quite an easy job. It's a cushy job, that one. And whatever I do, they're really happy. And, you know, it's just easy. You'll know when you've got one of them customers when you turn around to them and they just turn around to you and say, just get on with it, mate, because I know you're not ripping me off, and we just want it done. Just get it done. And I just send a bill to them, and they're like, okay. I think I've only questioned it once, but because I keep records of everything and all that lot, then I had everything to back me up. And they've got CCTV, so when I gave them the dates of when I turned up, they just had to look at the CCTV. There's no lying about that, is there? So anyway, I'm going, because I'm waffling again. Oh, I'm going to be doing a couple of videos. Well, I say I'm going to be doing a couple of videos. I never said I'd buy a hater again, and I mistakenly went and bought one. For 2 reasons. One, because somebody else was always banging in my head saying they're fucking amazing. They're absolutely amazing. The person that I bought it off said, I'm sure you'll be happy with it. And 3, I wanted to find out what the difference was between the 2018 model that I bought and then the newer version that has come out. And I've got to say, there is improvements. That's the last thing I thought I'd ever say about a hater. There have been improvements, and it is miles different and performs 20% better than the one that I had. That's all I'm going to say. And then I've just been and bought a brand new Honda. It's not here yet. I tried, I think there's about 6 online stores and then 5 local stores to me to get this lawnmower, and only 1 had stock. Well, no, they didn't have stock. Only 1 could tell me when they could get it for, and that was the 3rd of March is the earliest I can get it for. So hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll have that. So within a couple of months I'll have a video of that. And if I haven't sold this hater before I do a review, I'll do a review on it. But I don't know what it is. They've stuck a Honda engine on it, but they could have stuck a better one on. You know, they've stuck on a professional mower, they've stuck a domestic engine on it. So it just shows how cheap they've gone, doesn't it? So I'm going, it's 15 minutes. You don't want to see me waffle on. I've got to crack on with my day anyway. So I hope everyone's well. See you soon. Bye-bye.